Hey everyone, I'm that dread girl and I am 36 weeks pregnant. Today I want to share with you my top 10 tips to an easier, breezier pregnancy.
Tip number 1, essential oils.
Essential oils helped me greatly throughout pregnancy. I could tell you all the different scents that I used, but honestly, your preference will differ from mine. There are some really typical scents to use, like lavender oil for calm, eucalyptus oil for clearing the sinuses, orange and lemon often work great for nausea. But at the end of the day, you choose what works best for you. There are so many different ways to use essential oils sustainably and inexpensively. Putting a few drops under your chin or on your wrists works great. Just be careful if you have very sensitive skin. Instead, you could saturate a little piece of cloth with the oil or a handkerchief and keep it with you. You could also make your own oil diffuser pendants using lava beads or air dry clay or even pieces of wood or bark. You could make your own room diffuser using bamboo skewers in a glass jar or using sticks, chopsticks from takeout, or special reed diffusers that you could buy. You could use a few drops in a bath, but again, be careful if you have sensitive skin. You could make your own room and linen spray with a little bit of water and salt. You could make an aromatherapy pouch to keep with you by filling a small bag with uncooked rice and some oil. Or make a larger pouch with fabric and use it the same rice and oil. It can be a heating or ice pack. I'm a nurse, so sometimes at work when my environment became unbearable with smell, I would take a paper mask that goes over your face and put a few drops of oil on the inside of that. It works awesome. Any way you choose to use it, essential oils are going to help you a lot. So if you're not in the habit of using essential oils and you're pregnant, get in the habit.
Tip number 2, papaya enzymes.
Papaya is a pretty amazing fruit. It has special enzymes, vitamins A and C, and amino acids, all of which help to improve digestion and neutralize acid in the stomach. These tablets are great at getting rid of heartburn. You could also eat fresh papaya or dried papaya and reap the same benefits, but the enzyme tablets are great. They taste good, and as long as there aren't any extra ingredients, you really don't have to worry about taking too many of them like you would a typical antacid.
Tip number 3, a chili pad cooling towel.
This towel is so amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. Mine was gifted to me, but you can get it off Amazon for like 10 bucks. I have been pregnant all throughout the California summer months, and this towel was a lifesaver. It starts off dry and stiff in the package, and when you wet it with water, it becomes pliable and cold for hours. So I would take the towel and wrap it around my neck. I would also take the towel and wrap it around my belly, and it is big enough that it can actually fit. I'm telling you, this towel literally saved my life on days when the heat was so oppressive.
Tip number 4, coconut oil.
This might not be news to many people, but coconut oil is great for moisturizing skin, especially that of your growing, itchy belly during pregnancy. You could freeze small amounts of coconut oil in an ice cube tray and then pop them out like ice cubes and rub that on your belly, and it is so soothing, plus it cools you down. You can use it on your boobs also as they grow and stretch and get itchy as well. Dry skin is very common during pregnancy, and coconut oil is the all-purpose moisturizer. You can use it anywhere, and I mean anywhere. It's a great lubricant for your lady parts, which you'll want to get in the habit of moisturizing before the baby arrives. Tip number 5 is a foam roller. For the first time in my life, at around 4 months pregnant, I began experiencing sciatic pain. The sciatic nerve runs from your lower back over your hips and butt and down both your legs. And as your uterus grows, it can put pressure on this nerve, causing unpleasant sensations, usually a sharp stabbing pain that can sometimes be unbearable. It was almost debilitating in my experience. I could barely walk some days. Stretching and self-massage didn't do much to help, but this foam roller did. I got this off Amazon for $20, and it was the only thing that lessened the pain of the sciatica. All you have to do is sit on the foam roller on the floor and use your body weight to apply pressure to the area, then slowly roll it out. It's great to use on your full body before or after workouts, or to sort of self-massage and stretch any area that's sore or tight. But if you're experiencing sciatic pain, this item is essential. Tip number 6 is movement. This might not sound like a revelation, but it was definitely something I had to convince myself to do at times. As my body was changing and my hormones were raging, I got so tired I decided to stop exercising, and that really caused more problems for me than it solved. Movement is so important during pregnancy, so do what you can to keep it up. For me, running was great until I started having sciatic pain. Then I switched it up to yoga, and you don't have to pay for a class to do yoga. There's some great YouTube channels you can follow. I also tried Amba for the first time, which is a feminine-based movement, sort of like yoga, but much more free-flowing, kind of a fluid dance. I experienced a workshop, and it was really fun and great for pregnancy. Also, for the first time in my life, I decided to take a belly dancing class, and this was awesome. I loved learning to belly dance. If you don't want to pay for a class, there are some great YouTube videos about belly dancing as well. I tried belly dancing because I heard it was great for preparing for labor, and it absolutely is. It actually teaches you to identify how to use certain muscles in your pelvic area that you probably are not used to using. It's also a really great workout. I was so pleased. It's not very strenuous, there's not a lot of cardio, but I was still sweating and my heart rate was up by the end of the class. If none of these sound like good options for you, walking is a simple activity to keep you moving. Stretching and self-massage can be good. Also, dare I say it, sex is great too.
Tip number 7, magnesium.
Just when I entered my 3rd trimester, I began experiencing leg cramps in the middle of the night that interrupted my sleep, and they were very painful. One possible explanation for leg cramps is low magnesium. It's not the only explanation, but even if it isn't, magnesium produces a calming effect on the body. It relaxes the muscles, so it would be good in any case to try it out. I got some capsules and began taking 400 milligrams at night before bed, and my leg cramps disappeared. You can also get magnesium in a lotion form or take an Epsom salt bath, as Epsom salts contain magnesium. Just be careful. You don't want to overdo it on the magnesium because it could cause very loose bowel movements. Of course, if you're experiencing constipation as a symptom of pregnancy, then this actually might be a helpful side effect for you, but you don't want to take magnesium capsules, rub the lotion on, and take an Epsom salt bath, and then end up with an even more unpleasant problem than you started with.
Tip number 8, chewable iron.
I didn't take prenatal vitamins throughout my pregnancy. Prenatal vitamins and specifically iron pills make me really sick. So I watched my diet and got all my nutrients that way. I would also get my blood checked to make sure that my iron levels and everything in my body was substantial and that my diet was sufficient. Around the beginning of my 3rd trimester, as often happens because your blood volume increases, my iron levels did dip and I needed a little help. But taking iron tablets made me so sick. I would be nauseous and throwing up all the time. I couldn't keep food down. I certainly wasn't keeping the iron down, and it was really defeating the purpose. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, but my midwife suggested chewable iron. It's not as high a dosage, but it was all I needed. And it was great. It didn't make me sick. It tasted okay. And it actually gets absorbed much quicker in the body. So I highly recommend them if you have trouble taking prenatal vitamins or iron pills like I do.
Tip number 9 is corn silk and probiotics, specifically Femdophilus.
One of my worst nightmares was getting a urinary tract infection during pregnancy, which is actually very common. I did have a few during my first pregnancy, and they are the worst. Corn silk is great. Apparently, it helps prevent and combat symptoms of a UTI. You could make a tea from the corn silk of corn husks, but I chose to take the capsules, which seemed a lot easier. Probiotics also are going to help with urinary health. Specifically, Femdophilus is great, and it also has the added bonus of preventing group B strep colonization, which is also something common in pregnancy. You should have a test for group B strep sometime in your 3rd trimester, and if you test positive, then you will need to be on IV antibiotics throughout your labor. That's not something I want to do. So for urinary and vaginal health, those probiotics are really good.
Tip number 10 is the book Birthing from Within and the video Orgasmic Birth.
Birthing from Within is an amazing book. It's a comprehensive but easy read, and it really fills you with confidence and gives you a lot of tools for any kind of birth you're going to have, whether it's a home birth, a hospital birth, a birthing center birth, a C-section. This book has no judgment and has a lot of useful information. Orgasmic Birth is another book that I read. I bought it as an ebook and then found out there was a video that goes with it. The only video I could find was a hard copy on Amazon. The book is exactly what it sounds like. It guides you to having an orgasmic birth. Birth can be enjoyable. It can be positive, and I don't think enough women hear this message. The video is great too for getting that positive perspective on birth, and this book definitely drives that perspective home. So that's it, my top 10 tips to an easier pregnancy. I hope you found some of these tips helpful, maybe all of them, but please leave me some comments below. I would love to hear your tips for an easier pregnancy. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!